What's up, dogs and doggets? Welcome back from a 2-week hiatus. The NFL pick'em against the spread. We're entering week 9 already, which is absolutely crazy if you think about it. It's pretty much half over. It is literally half over now. So, got Fitz. He's back from his vacay. How you doing, Fitz?
Well rested. We got the two week bye, so we're ready to go halfway through the season. I feel like we still don't know what half the teams are. Are they good or are they bad? This is a really weird season. Really weird.
Yeah, well, I definitely had the Thursday night game figured out, which is last night. We're recording this on Friday, November 4th. I picked Atlanta with the points. Atlanta was favored by 3.5 points at Tampa. And Fitz, what did you pick?
Do I have to say?
You do.
I have the Bucks.
He had the Bucks.
Just had a gut feeling. Oh yeah, and then that horrible disaster of an accident with the fantasy team. I was showing a guy how to move a player from your bench to your starting lineup, so I moved Winston in over Matt Ryan. Winston did okay, but I definitely would not have intentionally taken the number 1 quarterback and moved him to my bench.
Yeah, that would have been 10 more points for him, I think.
Yeah, now watch me lose by 10 points or 9 points this week.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we had an epic battle last week, which I ended up getting the victory.
Yeah.
And now sitting in first place with the most points for in our league.
Yeah. It's close though. We're very close.
It's close. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weeks left. I start off 0-3.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you're not the only one. I think another guy started off 0-3, and he's at 4-3 as well.
Yeah, so it's a crazy year.
There's 6 teams at 4-3 in our league.
Yeah, these next 3 weeks are gonna separate the men from the boys, I think.
Yeah, there's only one team's 2-5. Everybody else is 3-4, 4-3. Pretty crazy.
Thankfully, Ezekiel Elliott's gonna get me 45 points this week against the Browns.
I believe it.
Okay, well, the coin says that's right, the coin is still here. The coin took Tampa as well. So let's move on to the Sunday games. And
At least we know he's an honest coin.
It is a very honest coin. I mean, it's got George Washington on the front, so it doesn't get more honest than that. The black and blue division, AFC North, Baltimore favored by 2.5 points against visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Big Ben is slated to come back. I am not starting him on my fantasy team, though. I don't think he's going to do that well. These games are usually like 19-16, 21-17, just all-out brawls. But I think Pittsburgh just has the better all-around offense. Baltimore has lost 4 straight after a 3-0 start. And they just look lost. There's nothing going on good with that team, especially in the running game. Their receivers aren't that great. I mean, Steve Smith Sr. is like 39 now. I just got to go Pittsburgh in this one to actually win the game and definitely cover.
I'm going to go Baltimore to win and cover. Don't feel particularly good about it, but more of just a gut feeling. And also, if they win this game, that puts both of Pittsburgh and Baltimore at 4-4. Cincinnati will be... 3-4-1? Yeah, 3-4-1.
Yeah.
Then the Browns are the Browns. They're never relevant. But if that division can all be within, I guess, technically a half game of each other midway through the season, that makes for a very exciting second half of the season. And the Bengals have to play the Ravens twice still. So it's a potential 2-game swing in the Bengals' favor if they can beat them, and I think that they can. And then a very important game, second game against the Steelers after they drop the first game. So the Ravens can win this. It's going to make it a very, very interesting division race down the stretch, which I think would be great for fans of football. And you know what? I would just hate to see the NFL get what they want. You know what they want? They want Pittsburgh to be good. They want Dallas to be good. They want New England to be good. Can you imagine a NFC, AFC championship with Dallas, New England, Pittsburgh, and like the Giants?
Yeah.
Like that's what the NFL wants, but we don't want to see that. Screw those teams. We see them on prime time every friggin' week.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty much NFC East and Sunday Night Football. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I-95.
Yeah, the coin went Baltimore as well. So let's move on to the next game now. Don't have to talk too much about this one because it's the Cleveland Browns. They are 0-8, but they are starting Cody Kessler again, which is not going to make a difference because they're facing the visiting Dallas Cowboys. Dallas favored by 7.5 points. The best O-line in football, the best running back in football. Dak, very good game manager, very good outside the pocket, runs the ball. And that defense, when they're ahead, is actually not that bad. And they came back and covered last week, which propelled me into a chance for the win. So I was up late watching the game on my phone. I couldn't believe they came back and covered the 4.5 points. They had to go to overtime and had to score a TD, and that's what they did. I couldn't believe it. But I'm taking Dallas in this one. I think Ezekiel is going to run all over him. Dez, if he plays, is going to catch, but they don't even need Dez. I mean, they do a lot with Cole Beasley and Witten and Terrence Williams, so give me Dallas in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas too. Period.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
But good for Cody Kessler starting. Wouldn't it be funny if, and it makes sense if they will, they just keep riding Cody Kessler, give him a full off season as the starter. Don't be stupid and draft a quarterback because it doesn't look like there's a franchise guy coming out of college this year. Give him the off season, play him next year, and wouldn't it be nice if, finally they stop trying and worrying about a quarterback and it just some guy that they had probably on their practice squad last year ends up being the guy for them going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. Well, you don't want Lamar Jackson on the Browns?
Man, I don't even know college is.
He's like the front runner for the Heisman, playing for Louisville.
Whatever happened to Deshaun Watson?
I mean, he's still out there, but he's not having a year like Lamar Jackson's having.
Okay, well.
But I don't know. I don't.
Cody Kessler, he's got my vote.
Yeah, and I just listen to sports radio. I don't watch that much college football outside the Badgers. So, all right, let's go to the next game. Kansas City favored by 9 points at home against visiting Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I'm going to take Jacksonville with the points in it, so I think Kansas City is going to win. And the only reason I changed my pick is because Alex Smith is not going to start. It's going to be Nick Foles. We've seen the Nick Foles story the past couple years. He had a great year in Philly, then an okay year in Philly, then a crap year in St. Louis/LA. And now, I mean, he came back last week, went in for the injured Alex Smith, came in through a touchdown pass. Alex Smith came back, got knocked out again. Nick Foles comes back in again, and basically made Kelsey his top target as well as Tyreek Hill. And they just bludgeoned Indianapolis. But Indianapolis is not a good team. Jacksonville, I think, is going to backdoor cover. I think Bortles, like he did last week, is going to get a couple garbage time touchdowns. That's why I'm starting him this week in fantasy. So, yeah, look for Hearns and Robinson and Marquise Lee to get some yards this week in your fantasy leagues.
I'm going Jacksonville here. And part of it is the quarterback, Nick Foles. Part of it is, as dumb as it sounds, beating the dead horse. This team has talent. They're not playing up to their potential. The Chiefs are greatly impaired without their quarterback, and Spencer Ware has been ruled out. So they're turning to
the West.
Charcandrick West.
Yep.
So Charcandrick West. So yeah, I'm gonna go Jags here. They're gonna be trying really hard. They don't want to be the team that made their coach lose their job, because that's exactly what's going to happen if they keep playing like they have been.
Yep.
So I think this is the week. Something's got to give. So I think this is the week that this is one of those upsets that's going to happen. So I'm going to go with the Jags win and cover.
All right, win and cover. Very nice. Wow, actually a win outright. Very nice.
Yeah, a win. Yeah.
Well, the coin is on a home stretch here. It picks Kansas City. It picked Cleveland last time. So all home teams for the coin so far. Let's move on to the next one, though. This is a tough game to pick. This is really tough. Miami favored by 3.5 points at home against visiting Jets. Now, the Jets were down big to Cleveland last week. Then they're up big. Then they allowed a touchdown at the end for Cleveland to basically make that game a wash and have the point spread at 3 points. Miami coming off two 200-yard games by Jay. I actually drafted him in one league thinking he was going to be big because I knew Foster was going to get hurt. And then I dropped the Jai for Tevin Coleman in week 3. And needless to say, I didn't see two 200-yard games coming. But I think Miami coming off a bye week, is going to be rested. They're going to be relaxed. The Jets kind of had to put forth some extra effort there and beat the Browns, but they are they are the Jets, so I assume that they're going to finish like 8-8 and have a middle draft pick and be the same team again next year. So I could see them winning, but I got to go with Miami. I think Miami's just kind of turned the tables and got the running game going, which is huge for them and huge for Tannehill because he can't win the game by himself with his arm.
No, I think you got to throw the Dolphins into that group with the Lions, the Texans, maybe Baltimore. The teams that right when they start to look good, they go in and they lose. So I got to go with the Jets here. Props to Jay Ajayi.
Yeah, Ajayi.
Yeah. So he's only the 4th running back to ever have 2 consecutive 200-yard games on the ground. Very impressive, and that does not happen just by chance. He is a good runner. But the Jets, they're better than their 3-5 record. The Dolphins, I'm not so sure that they are. I think they have more fundamental flaws than the Jets have. The Jets mostly have been shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers and probably penalties too. But I think the Dolphins do just lack talent all around. So I'm going to go with the Jets in this one.
All right, the coin is on the home front still, going with Miami. All right, let's go through the classic NFC East battle. New York Giants favored by 2.5 points coming off a bye against Philadelphia Eagles. Now Philly had to play an overtime game on Sunday night. They got to travel, but they don't have to travel too far. Giants are coming off a bye week. They were just in London a couple weeks ago. And I think Odell Beckham Jr. is finally rested. I think they're getting Rashad Jennings back, who, if you can say anything about him, is kind of a step up in quote. Over Orleans Darkwa and whoever else they got there. Vereen. I think Vereen's out, actually. But I think the Giants are just better. I think they got the better QB. Like, Wentz kind of came back down to earth after those first 3 weeks. They lost, 3 out of the last 4 games, so now they're 4-3. So I'm going to have to go with the Giants to win and cover at home this one. And I just think Philly is not going to put up as much points as the Giants, I guess. I don't know. They're not going to have as many points as the Giants. Let's just put it that way.
I agree with you. I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid on Carson Wentz. I think he is going to be a pretty damn good quarterback in this league. But I think the Giants are the better team all around. Preseason, I picked them to win the division. I think they're still going to do that. And maybe we're going to have the prophecy fulfilled, Eli versus Tom Brady in the Super Bowl become his final form, 3-line Manning, and take that Lombardi trophy from Tom Brady when he wants to take it out of the hands of Goodell and right in his face. That would be the best Super Bowl. Giants Patriots again.
Part 3.
Yeah, part 3.
Oh man,
that would be something.
Yeah, it would be, but I'd rather have the Packers raising the banner. But my personal preference.
We'll see. This game, I don't think the Eagles are going to win this game. Home game for the Giants. For these division games, it matters. I just actually saw a replay of the Miracle in Meadowlands, so maybe it doesn't matter that much. But thankfully, the Giants don't have an idiot punter on their team.
Coughlin throwing a clipboard. Oh man, so funny.
What a game. But yeah, no Deshaun Jackson returning punts for the Eagles. No Matt Dodge punting for the Giants.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the Giants here, win and cover.
All right, coin going Giants as well. That's 6 straight home teams for the coin.
I think your coin's broken.
Yeah, it might be. What is this one? It's 2008, 1907 Oklahoma coin. So whatever that means. Anyways, let's go to the next game. Minnesota, which this is the most laughable line of the week, I think, favored by 6.5 points at home against the Detroit Lions. Detroit coming off a tough loss last week against Houston. That offense just wasn't there. I started Stafford in one league. He didn't do anything, but Houston didn't do anything either. I mean, they had 2 drives, and that was it. Osweiler, he just doesn't do much. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins he's got to be fuming because he never sees the ball, and when he does, it's either thrown behind him or thrown over his head. So I got to take Detroit in this one. And Minnesota's offensive line is terrible. The front four with Detroit is not that bad. You got Ziggy Ansah. I think he'll be in the backfield all game long. And they just don't have a running game in Minnesota. And that team is based around run first, pass to get a first down here, there, and play defense. They didn't do any of that against Chicago. And Chicago's a dumpster fire. So I think Detroit's going to kind of duplicate that model. And they're actually going to, I think they might win this game, honestly. So, but I'm going to take Minnesota to win a close one. Detroit's going to cover.
I'm going to go Minnesota to win and cover. I'm going to give them one last chance because the last 2 weeks have been just what everybody expected, honestly, coming in the season. Once Teddy went down and then they lose Adrian Peterson, I expected this to be not a good team at all.
Right.
So I was very surprised the way that they started the season, but I think they've come down to earth. Fire the offensive coordinator, or did he step down? I think he stepped down.
He stepped down.
Yeah, but I'm going to give them one more shot because 5 wins in a row doesn't happen by accident in the NFL. It happens from really good defense. So I'm going to look for the defense to step up big here, cause some turnovers, and win. And 6 points is a big spread, but I'm going to stick with them anyways, win and cover.
All right, winning by a touchdown. And the coin is going home team again. Insane. 7 straight. All right, let's go to the next game. LA Rams at home against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers favored by 3 large points. Now, I think the Rams had a bye last week. Jeff Fisher, notorious for starting off hot and then ending ice cold. And Carolina's kind of got their feet under them. They had a bye week. They came off the bye week last week, and they got a big lead on Arizona. They were able to hang on there at the end with a crazy interception of Carson Palmer by the defensive lineman with like 2 minutes left in the game, and then they're able to run out the clock. But I think Carolina they're better than a 2-5 team. I don't think they're a playoff team this year. I think they might go 8-8. I think they're going to have some wins here down the stretch. But I'm going to take Carolina to win and cover. I just don't like the Rams. I just don't like Casey Keenum. Todd Gurley's done really nothing. They don't have much for receivers outside of Austin and I guess Kenny Britt. The defensive front poses a threat, but I mean, for what Jonathan Stewart did to the Arizona line last week with 2 touchdowns and 90 yards, it doesn't really concern me that much. So take Carolina for me to win and cover.
Panthers definitely dug themselves too deep a hole to make the playoffs, I think. As much as there is a lack of outstanding teams in the NFC, I think there's going to be enough that finish with 10, 11 wins to get in the playoffs. I don't think the Panthers are going to be one of them. Like you said, I think they'll get 9 wins. But again, this is a 15-1 team from a year ago. Then you look at the Rams. Like you said, Jeff Fisher started off hot, finished cold, finished 7-9, 8-8, whatever it is.
Yep, every year.
Yeah, they'll beat the Seahawks every year, and then they'll lose to Detroit, Cleveland, whatever. But Panthers aren't the Seahawks. They're not going to choke against the Rams. Coming off a win, finally got some confidence against a good team too in Arizona, as inconsistent as they've been. I think this is going to be dominant from Carolina. Put the Rams in their place and establish themselves as at least a threat to make the playoffs if the other teams don't get their act together. So Carolina winning cover.
All right, very nice. Well, the coin is sticking with the home team, LA Rams. Unbelievable. 8 straight heads. All right, let's go next game. San Francisco coming off their bye. Colin Kaepernick just having an amazing season, throwing for 300 yards in 2 weeks with 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. The guy's just incredible. It was a good change.
How does this guy not have a starting job before?
Yeah, it was a good change because Blaine Gabbert would have definitely did worse than that. There's a reason why he was started on the bench, and he basically protested his way onto the starting job. It seems.
Lobbyist, man.
Yeah, he should go to Washington for sure. But that aside, San Francisco's a dumpster fire. Carlos Hyde might not even play this week. Their leading receiver is Jeremy Curley. The aforementioned Kaepernick's bad. Navarro Bowman's out. That defense is bad. And New Orleans is just hot. That offense is running red hot. They beat Seattle, even though it was at home in the Superdome. Still, to beat Seattle like they did, with the big ground game by Tim Hightower getting 100 yards, Breeze doing his thing, and limiting Wilson, honestly. So I'm going to take New Orleans to cover the 3 points this week because I think San Francisco is just not a good team. I think they're building for next year and the year beyond.
I also have to take the Saints. Some food for thought. They win this game. They're 4-4. They're in the hunt for the wild card. If they make the wild card spot, and it's all on the back of Drew Brees, because last year their defense was historically bad, and they're still pretty bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
So I mean, they're only winning games because they're putting up 30+ points. And if they can keep doing that, they make the playoffs. I think Drew Brees is going to have a strong case for maybe a little MVP talk. It's pretty much a 4-horse race at this point. You've got Matt Ryan, you got Tom Brady, throw in Drew Brees, and I was going to say Ezekiel Elliott, but maybe Phillip Rivers too if the Chargers can do like the Saints and push for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But it all depends on. I mean, we know this is a league about winning, so if you don't make the playoffs, you're not going to get a sniff at an award like that. But I think Drew Brees and the Saints actually do have a legitimate shot. So I expect them, just like I said, for the Panthers to really give it to the 49ers this week. They'll put up 30+ points. 49ers won't hit 20. So Saints win and cover.
All right. Well, the coin actually agrees. The first away team for the coin.
All right. Kaepernick's so bad, even the coin couldn't.
Right.
Coin can only go home team, and it's going away because of Kaepernick.
Yeah, it's not a homer for all teams, especially when the San Francisco 49ers are involved. But it did go home with the Browns, which is kind of weird. Now, this next game, I have two different picks down on two different levels here. So I'm going to let you go first, and I'm going to try and decide which one I actually meant here, because I did these picks a couple days ago.
Sure.
But it's San Diego by 5.5 points at home against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I got the Chargers here. I got Chargers winning and covering. 5.5 is a little more than I would expect, because the Titans have been playing pretty well. Pretty well indeed. Got a good O-line, got a good running game. Mariota is doing enough. I don't know if he's been great. I haven't had the chance to watch Titan games. I know he hasn't put up phenomenal numbers, but I suppose he's doing the game managing, maybe a little Russell Wilson. Again, I haven't seen too much highlights, but do enough to keep your team in the game, and then at critical moments you make those big plays and get the win. But whatever he's doing, he's not Phillip Rivers, that's for sure. And San Diego has looked pretty good. I mean, they're 3-5, but they could have won most, if not all, of the games that they've lost. I don't think they've been destroyed in any games this year that come to mind. I know for sure they've had some very, very close losses. Last week I had them winning. Was it at Denver or at San Diego?
It was at Denver.
Yeah, I had them winning that game, and it did end up being a one-score game in the end, 8 points. Close game.
Yeah.
The defense is a lot tougher than people thought it would be. Joey Bosa is quite the animal, although I'm not sure if he's playing again. That guy seems to always be hurt. But again, this comes back to Phillip Rivers. This team is really comes down to him, just like the Saints with Drew Brees. And I think they win this game. All due respect to the Tennessee Titans, but Chargers are a good team. I don't think their 3-5 record at all reflects how good they are. So, going with the Chargers to win and cover this one.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, so I had San Diego, but I believe I chose Tennessee looking back on it. And now, the reason why I did that, now San Diego, I picked San Diego to cover last week and Denver to win. San Diego was first down from the 2-yard line at the waning minutes of that game, and they threw the ball 4 straight times and didn't get in the end zone when Melvin Gordon had 111 yards on 23 rushes. So,
okay, questionable play calling.
Very questionable. Now, Tennessee is coming off basically 9-10 days off. They crushed Jacksonville. That game wasn't even competitive. I mean, it was like 27-7 or something like that at halftime, or 27-0. Tennessee, I really like here just because they have that two-headed monster with Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray. obviously, and Marcus Mariota has actually played very well lately. Tajay Sharp, Rashard Matthews, Delaney Walker. He's got some weapons there, and that defense is one of the better defenses in the league, honestly. So I'm going to pick Tennessee to cover the 5.5 points. I think San Diego is going to win by a field goal. So give me the Titans. And then coin, back to the heads.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah, I was pretty bummed because if San Diego would have covered, I would have definitely won last week going into Monday night. But
yeah, tough team to call.
Yeah, very tough. Now, let's get to one of the main games of the week. Green Bay Packers at Lambeau, favored by 7 points against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Green Bay, let's go through the list of injured players against the Falcons. I picked Green Bay to cover and win last week. They covered, but they didn't win. That was with Matthews out on defense, Quentin Rollins, Randall, Shields, all defensive backs out. And then you go to the offensive side of the ball. Lacey's on IR. Starks is out. Their third running back, Ty Montgomery, was out. Randall Cobb is out. They had to start Niall Davis, who they just dropped after the game. That's how bad the injury bug has hit the Packers, and Rodgers still almost willed them to win the game. And Rodgers looked absolutely sharp. Like, he was threading needles, just hitting people in stride. And I was loving it. I didn't feel bad that Atlanta lost, and I was explaining to you, this is paralleling the 2010 season where they had a lot of injuries. They lost a close one to Atlanta. They lost to Arizona in the playoffs the year before, and it kind of galvanized the team. I think Green Bay's going to put up some serious points against Indianapolis. I think they're going to put up at least 35, 38 points. Indianapolis, even with Andrew Luck, is not going to come back. Matthews is going to play. I think Quentin Rollins and Randall are coming back. Shields is not. I wish he would. But Ty Montgomery is coming back. Randall Cobb may be back. I mean, the team is starting to get healthy a little bit. And Indianapolis just doesn't have any defensive or offensive line. And really anybody to help Andrew Luck. So give me Green Bay to win and cover this week.
Green Bay to win and cover sounds good to me. Are you telling me you don't think the Colts are a good team?
Yeah, I am.
Colts, so yeah, this week. At least I'll take the Packers to win and cover.
Well, the coin agrees. Back to the home team for the coin. Green Bay. All right, let's go. Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a fun game. The 6-2 Oakland Raiders at home favored by a point against the visiting Denver Broncos, also 6-2. Now Devontae Booker is in the backfield. He actually looked pretty good last week in his first start. Oakland had a long game in Tampa, a long game, almost 5 quarters worth. Carr threw for 513 yards. They had 23 penalties. I think it's going to be a very worn-out team. They got to travel back to the West Coast. Daylight savings won't give them that much extra time because they got to play at 10 in the morning. Denver doesn't have to travel that far. They didn't have that crazy of a game against San Diego. Although Aqib Talib might not be playing. I just think Von Miller is going to be in the backfield. Derek Carr has barely been sacked this year. If he starts getting hit and put on his back, it's going to throw his rhythm off, and I think he's going to be a little skittish back there. I think Denver's going to come in and win this game. Oakland is 0-3 against the spread at home. They're 5-0 on the road. And Denver is just, I think the better defense always beats the better offense, as we saw in Super Bowl 47 with the Broncos and the Seahawks. So I'm going to take Denver here to win the game and obviously cover.
I've been going back and forth on this game. I have the Raiders, but it's the kind of game I have a feeling that, again, the Broncos, like you said, they're the established team with the better defense. It just seems like every time this season when I picked against Denver, they win, which is really annoying. Because they're 6-2. I still can't decide if they're that good a team or not. Like, if they're going to be,
Sure.
They can actually be a threat to New England. Like, if we're looking at who's a bigger threat to New England, Denver or the Raiders, I almost want to say the Raiders, but
Yeah, I would probably say Denver.
Yeah,
because
because of that defense, right?
right. Well, and the team is familiar with beating them, with a backup QB in Osweiler. So,
Yeah. All right, well, let's go
but
Raiders.
don't let me influence you.
No, I'm going Raiders.
Okay.
Changing of the guard. The Broncos got the great defense. They're not flawless though, especially looking at their offense. Rolling with Trevor Siemian. The Raiders defense, I think, is a little underrated.
It's very bad. It's
underperforming.
Yeah, that's better because it's 28th against the run, or 5th worst, and 27th against the pass, or 6th worst.
Yeah, you remember all the people saying, God, what's his name? What's the guy that they got that everybody's saying, oh, defensive player of the year?
Yeah, Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I mean, good player, sure, but where's he been this season?
He hasn't done anything. I think he has 1 sack.
Oh my God, yeah. So much for that. But let's go with Derek Carr hype train. Let's say Raiders win and cover this week. Don't feel good about it, but
obviously
they're a good team. They're a good team.
All right. Well, the coin is going home team too. So you're gonna have.
Well, we knew the coin was.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy. 11 heads and 1 tails out of 12 games so far.
11 heads and 1 Kaepernick.
That's right. All right, so let's go with the Monday night game. I think this is going to be a fun game. Seattle at home, 12th man in all, favored by 7 points against visiting Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is just on an absolute downhill slide into an 8-8 season for Rex Ryan again. Seattle coming off a loss. I mean, they had a long game in Arizona, went 5 quarters. Sunday Night Football a couple weeks ago. It ended in a 6-6 tie. Basically the worst kicking display you'll ever watch in a game. And Carson Palmer just not that good. Russell Wilson. I mean, it was just a testament to the defenses. But then they went into New Orleans and obviously lost. They're still tired. They had to travel. Now it's Monday night. They get an extra day's rest. Buffalo's got to travel all the way to the West Coast. And I think Seattle is going to come out big here. I think Buffalo just doesn't stand a chance. Tyrod's not that great on the road, even though I said that a few weeks ago when they beat the Rams. But that's the Rams. And Seattle's a championship team. So I got Seattle winning and covering this game, and Buffalo going home with another loss.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seahawks 2, winning cover. Buffalo looking like an 8-8 team, aren't they? Just on the cusp of the playoffs, but just missing. And Seattle, 4-2-1 at the moment in that NFC where there's, again, nobody but Dallas who's standing tall above the rest. So look for the Seahawks to beat these mediocre teams moving forward. Got to beat those 4-4 teams, those 500 teams, if you want to get to those 11 wins and clinch that playoff spot. Especially with the Cardinals losing a big game last week. This is a chance to really get the stranglehold on that division, because we know the Rams and the drawing a blank here.
Yeah, 49ers.
Of course. Yeah, we know they're not doing anything.
The Kaepernicks.
So, yes, 49er calling Kaepernicks. So, Seahawks win and cover. I don't know. I mean, is Shady playing? I don't think he's playing. Is he? He's still hurt?
I think even if he is, he's not 100% with that hamstring.
Yeah.
I think Gillislee is actually probably going to start. Or Percy Harvin. They just picked up Percy Harvin.
Oh boy, a washed up receiver who wasn't even that good in the first place.
Yep. That's pretty funny. Well, the coin actually goes an away team. They're going Buffalo. It's siding with Rex or just anti-Seattle. So
Tyrod Taylor, I think, I was doubting him, but he has impressed in some games this year. I guess let him finish the rest of the year, and they've kind of already committed to him as a franchise guy, but yeah, I guess if they can finish the year strong, and especially if they can win a game like this against the Seahawks, and they've beaten the Brady-less Patriots, but the Patriots are still a good team even without Brady. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if they finish the end of the year okay and he doesn't look that bad, I guess maybe they have found their franchise guy. But what they really need is the healthy Sammy Watkins.
Yep, and a healthy McCoy, because I think that team is built more around the run than it is the pass.
Absolutely. I mean, they run out of the Wildcat. I think they're the only team that still does that regularly.
Right, and during their 4-game winning streak there, to get to 4-2 or whatever it was, I mean, McCoy was just on fire. Like, he was getting 140, 130 yards a week, couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he was, I mean, and that opened up the pass. It opened up Taylor to be mobile and get outside the pocket and dink and dunk. And
They're a fun team. They're a lot of fun. Fun to watch. And
yeah, they are. I enjoyed watching the Bills Patriots last week. Did you watch that game at all? Just wondering.
I saw bits and pieces, but
Okay, did you see the bit that was thrown onto the field when the Patriots were going into the end zone?
no.
Like in the third quarter? Oh my God. Well, I'm watching it, and Brady throws a quick out to the sideline to Chris Hogan. They're at like the 5-yard line, and he's going into the end zone, but he gets tackled. And I noticed something on the field. I'm like, no, that can't be. Was that actually what it was? Yep, someone threw a big, huge dildo onto the field.
This is in Buffalo?
Oh, yep, it was right at the 1-yard line. You know what?
Only in Buffalo.
If you follow me on Twitter, I can actually retweet it for everybody.
Only in Buffalo.
And I noticed it on the field. I'm like, what the hell's laying on the field? And I only caught it. It was old, and they didn't show any replays.
Of course they didn't show any replays.
But I was just laughing. I was like, I think that was a dildo on the field. And the next day, they were talking about it on the sports radio that I listened to, the Sirius XM. Mad Dog Unleashed is what I listened to. And God, they were laughing so hard. And I was like, I was right. It actually was. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God.
It's like, well, Brady, you're screwing us one way. Here's another way to screw us. So I think they went up 34-10 at that point. The game was over.
Here's a quote from Tom Brady. I did see it. Yes, I did. I did see it. I thought it was funny. The ref didn't want to pick it up. He was kicking it. Nobody wanted to reach down and grab it.
Yeah. He just booted it off the field because there was a Buffalo fan that had a video of the ref just kicking it off the sideline.
That is pretty funny.
Oh, man. I was dying.
Classic Buffalo.
Classic. Indeed. Indeed.
Entertaining team, entertaining fans.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, they got to drink a lot up there, just like we do in Wisconsin, so.
Yeah. Gotta stay warm somehow.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Fitz. I didn't go over the totals. I forgot in the beginning, but we are tied in the win-loss, straight up 63, 56, and 2. I was 17 and 10 the last 2 weeks. You were 15 and 12. And against the spread, you're crushing me, 55, 63, and 3 to my 50, 68, and 3. So, yeah, I mean, I'm 18 under 500, which I got to have like 4 or 5 weeks in a row to even come close, because the leader in my league right now is at 70, and I'm at 51.
Oh my God.
I'm at 51, so I need 8 straight weeks of about 10 wins in a row to even have a chance at getting in the money. So
yeah, well, good luck. We know,
yeah,
we
I don't
know
think
how hard it is to get 10.
Yeah, well, if I win 2 more weeks, that'll cover my entry fee and all my fantasy stuff. So
okay, yeah.
I'm just hoping to win a couple weeks.
Break even.
Yeah, if I break even and then I win one of my fantasy leagues, for especially my big $50 league, that's $300 for the win. That's a nice chunk of change. That's a nice Christmas present for the wife. So. But anyways, yeah, leave your picks below in the comments. See if you can beat us, which shouldn't be too hard, obviously. But I did cash last week. I got $100 coming my way. So like the video, comment, and also subscribe for more NFL picks. And we'll see you next time. Take care.